Aloha and welcome to Hawaii Sports Update. I am your host, PJ, and we will be talking about some heavy-duty sports coming up. But first of all, I would like to say congratulations to Shane Victorino. I know his heart was in Boston, and they play the Bob Marley song, but I think he's in a better situation going to the Angels, who are in first place by about 6 games now, and Boston was in last. So I think the Flying Hawaiian, even though he hated to leave Boston because they brought him a World Series championship, but I think it's the best move for him personally, and I think that he will help the Angels in left field. You know, bringing some playoff experience along with them. Two Gold Gloves, great defensive player, and you know, hopefully he will fit in with the Angels there with Trout and Cole Calhoun. That would be a very formidable outfield for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim there. And also congratulations to Colton Wong for hitting that big grand slam in the Cardinals' victory yesterday. You know, a top 25 poll came out for players 25 and younger, and Colton Wong, he didn't make the top 25, but he was right outside the top 25, and this is only his second full year, so we expect some really big things to continue from Colton Wong. Of course, I covered him ever since his freshman year at UH, and you know, he's always been on top of his game, and I'm sure he'll be fine from here on out. But now, first of all, I'd like to introduce Justin Baptiz again. What's up, Justin?
What's going on?
Of course, my right-hand man, and he's going to be sitting in again with me this hour, and we're going to be hitting up all kinds of subjects. But the main subject that we are going to be talking about first is, of course, is Tom Brady and the Deflategate scandal, man. You know, this thing has lingered and lingered and lingered and lingered, and Tom Brady's not giving in. You know, I guess Roger Goodell today denied his appeal and upheld the 4-game suspension. And you know, I'm not saying Roger Goodell is unscathed either, because there's a whole bunch of things that has to happen, you know, in the NFL to try to right the ship. I don't know what he's going to do from here, but it seems to me like has been consistently over penalizing these guys, and then they're going to have to take him to court and sue him, you know, just to get justice in their eyes. I mean, if you look at the Adrian Peterson situation last year and the Ray Rice situation last year, you know, those were 2 totally different things that happened. But I think the consistency of overcharging the athletes and them having to use their own money to go sue them to get what they feel is justice seems to be a pattern, and I don't think that's right. What do you have to say or weigh in about this Tom Brady situation?
Well, it's tough. It's tough when you're going up against yourself and trying to win a suit, especially with the Deflategate ball situation. But unfortunately for Tom Brady, you know, it wasn't appealed, and he lost the battle. But it's tough, especially because we all know Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But to have the balls deflated and for that whole scenario to happen, that wasn't something that should have happened. I think that was very unnecessary for
Aloha.
something
My
like
name
that
is
to
Jim
happen
Shaw.
in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But we all know that he lost a 4-game suspension. He, you know, is going to have to sit out for the 4 games. But yeah, he's going to sue the league for claims, you know, common practice with being said about destroying his old phones and SIM cards and whatnot. But nevertheless, Tom Brady's going to do whatever he can to try to get the league to not sit him out any games. But we'll have to see what happens. But for now, we know Tom Brady's going to be out for 4 games.
Okay, now on a personal level, Justin, do you think Tom Brady's just trying to save face? I mean, just think about it. If he would have said way back when this happened, man, I'm sorry, you know, you guys caught me, you know, and just confessed up and just fessed up to it, you know, we wouldn't have to be going through all these steps. So, I mean, in your heart of hearts, do you think that he really believes he's innocent, or do you think he's just trying to save face?
Well, I think he's trying to save face, but then again, you never know. He could be innocent. But then again, basically, when somebody does something like that, or if anybody does anything like that, you have to just say the truth and say what's on your mind. It's not good to cover up something and keep on covering up, and then later down the line, or in maybe like a few weeks, they're gonna find the truth. So I feel it's just best if somebody or if any player just comes out and says the truth, because then again, maybe you won't have to get the 4-game suspension if you come out and tell the truth.
Well, as we all know, Tom Brady is, I mean, let's face it, he's the face of the NFL, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I believe that he's trying to save face so bad. It was cold weather. It was legitimate. Just for instance, when a pitcher's pitching, I used to pitch, okay? And, if you get the ball back and it has a little cut on it, or you want to rub some extra pine tar on it or something like that, within the rules of baseball, it's an unwritten rule, but it's still against the rules.
Exactly.
So what I think Tom Brady did wasn't so much of him blatantly disregarding the rules of the NFL, but it was cold, man. And if you had just a little bit less air pressure in the ball, he probably can get a better grip on it. He could probably throw it tighter, and who knows? But to me, that's just a little, especially if people have fessed up to it. That's just the equivalent of putting some pine tar on your hand and trying to throw a better pitch or something like that. But exactly. I believe that him dragging it out has brought to the table a lot more than what's necessary. And the fact that he destroyed his cell phone with all the text and all the records on it, looks like he's trying to cover it up. But nobody wants to believe that because it's Tom Brady.
Exactly.
What do you say about that?
Yeah, it's not fair. I don't think it's right for anybody to be able to do anything like that. Yeah, if you got to cover up and destroy phones, and that's like you're really trying to cover up evidence that you did things.
Right.
So just be real. Don't even do anything like that. Just say the truth.
Well, in his appeal, he was trying to say that he destroys his phones every 8 months, and then come to find out that the phone he had before this one, that he never destroyed, he still has it.
Right.
So, I mean, now it looks like he's just straight out lying, and it doesn't look good for Tom Brady, and that's why I think that he is trying to save face. And let's take it back all the way to the game for a minute, okay? Now just think if Indianapolis would have never intercepted that ball, okay? Nobody would ever knew, correct? So it's just, I'm not sure if he's a victim of circumstance or if karma just came back around in the same game,
Exactly.
We don't know if he's been deflating balls during every cold weather game. Now, if he was deflating balls during every cold weather game, that's a whole nother scenario. To me, that would be blatantly cheating, if he's doing that on a consistent basis, but we don't know. It's yet to be determined, and maybe that's why he destroyed his phone,
Exactly.
But we're gonna have to sit here and go to federal court and get a mediator and to try to overturn what Roger Goodell said about some air pressure.
Right.
I mean,
Come on now.
yeah. So, I mean, what is your personal feeling about this whole situation?
It's just really crazy how it all happened. Sad. It's kind of sad, and when you got something like this happening, it just really makes people look bad. And then also, it's like they also tried to say like, oh, they should have the Colts and the Ravens play and have the Patriots be in it. They should like do a rematch and have the Patriots not be in the Super Bowl. All this different stuff they're saying. So.
Well, I don't agree with that because they killed him like 41-3 or something like that.
Yes,
I don't think that the air pressure decided the outcome of the game when it came to the Colts and the Patriots. But who's not to say it didn't affect the outcome of other games if they've been doing it,
Exactly.
and for how long they've been doing it. I mean,
Right.
Brady's been in the league for 12 years now.
Exactly.
He has 4 Super Bowl rings.
Right.
You know, uh, who knows how long it's been going on, you know? So to me, I think that, you know, if Tom Brady just would have came out and fessed up to it, you know, like I said earlier, he would, it would be over. You know, he probably would have got a couple games, you know, and it would be over. But now Roger Goodell has to show his manhood, and Tom Brady has to try to save face and you know, to America. You know, I mean, like I said, he is the face of the NFL, and for him to go down like that, to make it look like he's been cheating, well, you know, that would be very bad for his reputation overall. So, I mean, do you think that this is going to affect? I know it's not going to affect him going to the Hall of Fame or anything like that, but what do you think the public's opinion is going to be of Tom Brady when all this comes out?
My opinion basically would be on just, you know, you should have just told the truth and done the right thing. That's all I can say about that.
Okay. Well, you know, maybe he feels the right thing is protecting his team, protecting his owner, protecting the Patriots, you know. That there's, you know, I mean, when you all go all the way back to the New Orleans Saints, even with the New Orleans Saints, Roger Goodell did the same thing, you know. He overcharged them. He suspended their coach for a whole year. He suspended Jonathan Vilma. He suspended
John Chopper?
Yeah, and the other linebackers, Scott Fujita or something like that. And all these guys ended up taking the NFL to court and either getting their money or getting games reduced from their suspension. You know, what do you think about Roger Goodell's practices of overcharging these people?
Well, it's not fair to overcharge anybody. But when you do a bad thing, especially when it's like a dog fighting or whatever, that's bad. I mean, you have to pay the price and you have to, you know, get some time for it. And I feel like with these players getting away with all these suspensions and having to cut down from 10 to 8 or 10 to 6 or 4, they're just getting away with it very easily. And I feel like they should put more of a hold on that situation with players getting suspended games.
Okay, now, you know, for Brady to miss the first 4 games of the season, of course, the opening game against Pittsburgh, you know, you're going to have Brady out and you're going to have Le'Veon Bell out. I mean, you know, but his suspension just got reduced from 3 games to 2.
Right.
That's just another example of overcharging there. But, you know, it's yet to be determined, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Exactly.
If you just joined us, you can tweet us here at ThinkTech HI. Chime in on the conversation if you want to talk about Tom Brady, and if you feel what he did was right or wrong. If he's trying to save face, just chime in, ThinkTech HI. I'm here once again with my right-hand man, Justin Baptiz, and we're going to be going on a commercial break. And when we come back from the commercial break, we'll be talking a little bit more football and a couple of local signings and some Major League Baseball on the other side of Hawaii Sports Update.
This is Alice Lee Hagan, host of ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. My show here at ThinkTech Hawaii is every Thursday from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. I bring in interesting guests from Hawaii, the mainland, and hopefully international guests in the future. Do join us on Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. ThinkTech Hawaii Business Education Spotlight. Aloha.
Aloha. My name is Jim Sean, and I'm host of a show called Education Movers, Shakers, and Reformers. Each week, live streaming at noon on ThinkTech Hawaii, we interview people who have special insights into education, from early education through K-12, all the way through higher education and beyond. Both public and private are areas we're interested in. We dig deeper. We try to find out what it's really like to be involved in making change, advocating for it, how you reform, what people's philosophies are in reforming it. As I said, We're live streaming every Wednesday at noon on ThinkTech Hawaii. And later on, you can find these interviews on YouTube and on the Hawaii Educational Policy Center website. We hope you join us as many times as possible. Aloha.
Welcome back to Hawaii Sports Update. And if you just joined us, we are chiming in on Deflategate with Tom Brady. That's the hot topic of the day. Of course, Roger Goodell upheld the 4-game suspension, and Tom Brady vows to take him to court and sue him, just like all the other football players who have been charged or over excessively charged, as they would say. You know, we're just talking about, before we went to commercial break, about Le'Veon Bell. He used marijuana, and he gets a 3-game suspension, and then, it gets reduced to 2 games. And then, of course, Greg Hardy, nobody knows all the details behind that because the lady never showed up in court. But it was rumored that he picked her up and slammed her on a bed full of guns. And, that's just crazy. And come to find out that his suspension got reduced too.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand if it's the pattern of Roger Goodell overcharging these guys, or maybe what they did isn't as bad as it may seem. I don't know. I'm sort of stuck in the middle because nobody knows the true facts behind that. But I know it's sad that if Tom Brady and Le'Veon Bell are not in the opening game, when's the next time the fans are going to see, Pittsburgh against New England outside of a playoff game? It might be 3 or 4 years, You just never know. So, I mean, before we finish up this topic, what do you have to say about the Le'Veon Bell situation, and what do you have to say about the Greg Hardy situation, and I guess the overcharging? I have no idea what it is,
What about the overcharging? That's just really, really messed up. Greg Hardy, yeah, that was a suspension that was tough. But, he's in a different place. He got it taken care of, but still, the overcharges in the NFL, they have to change. Players shouldn't have to have all these suspensions reduced. They should be able to, pay the full price on everything. And it's not fair. With the Le'Veon Bell situation, wow. It's tough, man.
Yeah. It's crazy because, I mean, me as an ex-player, when you get ready to go to camp, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. They let you know, when you're going to get tested. And so if these guys are coming in knowing when they're going to get tested and still, coming up positive, I just don't know what to say. That's just, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I just have no idea what they're thinking about. And, as far as the Greg Hardy situation, 10 games getting reduced down to 4. But, for what he was accused of, he should be in jail, I mean, he should be kicked out of the league for that. But, the lady didn't come and testify. And, the NASCAR driver, now this guy's won 3 races in a row and 4 out of the last 5, and he's making a run for the NASCAR chase now, and he allegedly abused a woman also, and she didn't show up for court either. The only thing is Kurt Busch isn't a football player, so it's not national news every day, but it's basically the same situation. And, sometimes I get a little fed up about some of the double standards that go on, but it's been a long history of that, so we don't want to get into that conversation too much.
Exactly.
But, hopefully Roger Goodell and the NFL will straighten things out and, come with something that is set in stone. When he says 6 games, bam, it's 6 games. I mean, I just don't get it sometimes. But anyway, let's move on to baseball now.
Yeah.
Friday's the deadline. We know that, okay? And, like I mentioned earlier, Shane Victorino went to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, And, that's a great move for him. I mean, that's a great move for them. Like I say, even though he was sad to leave Boston, because all the Hawaiians are true to heart, that that they wear their heart on their sleeve. I mean, how many grown baseball players have you seen cry on TV? When Colton Wong got picked off, he was so upset, he cried. He's over that. He's been playing solid ball for 2 years. Shane Victorino's heart was in Boston because they gave him the chance to win a World Series. Now, when you start talking about Shane Victorino, like I said last week, I think he's the most prolific baseball player to come from Hawaii. This guy has made the All-Star team in 2 different leagues. Okay, he has Gold Gloves in 2 different leagues, and he has 2 World Series rings. I don't think anybody from Hawaii can compete with that. But I definitely think that's a good move for the Angels, and his veteran leadership should help their squad, because the Angels are definitely going to the playoffs. I can almost guarantee that. But now, on the other hand, Troy Tulowitzki, of course, he went to Long Beach State, dirt bags. The University of Hawaii is one of their main nemesis. But, he got traded for your boy Jose Reyes and some cash. But, what do you have to say about that trade? And do you really think Tulowitzki is going to help the Blue Jays get to the playoffs? I mean, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I'll just put it in this perspective. I mean, we all know the Colorado Rockies record is 42-55,
right,
and the Blue Jays record is 50-50.
Right.
With this dynamic player that we all know that the Rockets had.
Tulowitzki, of course, right.
Rockies had. I think he's going to give the Blue Jays a lot of life,
Okay.
especially with the way that they can utilize their players with Bautista and. Their record is not bad right now with the Blue Jays.
Absolutely. Well, the only team in the American East with the winning record is the Yankees, and that's crazy because the Yankees are looking for pitching. Everybody's looking for pitching right now, but with the resurgence of Alex Rodriguez and Mark Teixeira, I can't, the Yankees are handling that division, and they're handling it offensively. I mean, Teixeira and A-Rod have over 50 home runs combined, and it's just at 40 years old for A-Rod to miss all of last year, totally suspended, and to come back right now with 26, 27 home runs is just incredible. But if anybody's going to light a fire underneath the Blue Jays, it's going to be Troy Tulowitzki. I mean, Jose Reyes, who he got traded for, was a veteran. He played for the Mets. He's solid,
right,
but he's not Troy Tulowitzki. I mean, Tulowitzki he's a career 300 hitter. He's going to hit the ball out of the park at least 20 to 25 times. Of course, he's in Colorado. It could elevate it to 30 to 32 because of the air. Right. But Tulowitzki is definitely one of the top-rated shortstops in the game, and Jose Reyes was one of the top-rated shortstops in the game a few years back. So, maybe the Blue Jays made the right decision, but I know the fans in Colorado are just heartbroken to see Troy Tulowitzki leave. And so for me to make a point, I don't mean to go off the subject, but I was reading an article today about how Troy Tulowitzki and the GM from the Colorado Rockies, they had a verbal agreement. I mean, that's how much respect that they had for Troy Tulowitzki, that, hey, if you're going to trade me, if you're going to move me, they had a verbal agreement that they would let him know, okay? They didn't let him know. When he found out that he was getting traded was in the 9th inning of the game on Monday night, when Walt Wise, who's their coach, who plays shortstop for the A's, pulled him from the game in the 9th inning with tears in his eyes.
Wow.
And Tulowitzki was heartbroken, man. And it's funny that when the owners and the GMs do this kind of stuff all the time, and then a player like DeAndre Jordan changes his mind, it's national news.
Exactly.
But the GMs and the administration do this to the players all the time. That's why I had that attitude about DeAndre Jordan. he doesn't owe Mark Cuban anything, okay? He wasn't under contract with them. Yeah, they had a verbal agreement, but like I said, how many verbal agreements have you had with players and then just dump them? But the media takes it, when a player does it because of supposedly how much money that they make,
Right.
okay, that they're just supposed to be happy and play along with what's going on. But the owners have more money than the players, but yet they get passes when they do that to the players all the time. And that's one thing that I just don't understand about the double standards.
And I don't understand it either about things like that, but it's just tough. But about A-Rod, like you were saying, A-Rod his 24 homer.
Yeah, 24.
And he's the fourth player in MLB history to homer as a teenager and also in his 40s. And also he had a sixth career home run, which is most all time.
On his birthday.
On his birthday.
Okay.
And about the Shane Victorino situation. Yeah, we all know he was traded to the Los Angeles Angels, but the Red Sox will pay us $3.8 million off of his $4.9 million on his contract. But we do know for a fact, though, and what's interesting is Shane Victorino's going from the AL East to the first place team in the AL West. So that's also a good thing too. But the Angels having the first place 55-43 record, and the Red Sox having the 44-56 record.
Right, so he went from last to first.
Right.
Okay, just a little trivia for you. I don't mean to catch you off guard real quick, but besides Alex Rodriguez, it's only 3 other players who have hit home runs as a teenager and as a 40-year-older. Can you name one of the other ones?
Barry Bonds?
No, Gary Sheffield. Gary Sheffield.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that's another guy who I believe should be in the Hall of Fame, but the media has scrutinized him and he wasn't too media savvy, and so, I just don't get it how these reporters can take stuff like that personal. When these guys play 162 games every day and they're gonna look and say, well, that's part of the job. Well, it's not part of the job to get harassed and ridiculed by the media, okay?
Right.
So, if you come with respect, I'm sure anybody who's respectable will come back with respect. But you just can't come off the wall with these guys and ask anything that you want and still expect them to respect you.
Yeah.
And then you just want to throw their numbers to the side when they retire and not put them in the Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous. I mean, Bill Madlock should be in the Hall of Fame. Gary Sheffield should be in the Hall of Fame. Jim Thome should be in the Hall of Fame. And we'll wait to see what happens. But I'm actually glad that Major League Baseball has changed their Hall of Fame battle team, okay? There were like 650 credentialed voters, and I believe what it was is you had to have at least 10 years experience in the media to carry a vote.
Exactly.
Okay, but now they switched to where it has to be 10 consecutive years, or you have to have certain circumstances and cover a certain amount of games for that year, which is going to lower the number. And I think that's going to be a good thing because, most of those old timers just can't get over it, man. I mean, Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. Roger Clemens should be in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Tony Perez. I mean, I can just go on and on, but, these guys have their own agenda, and I just don't understand. You can't take something personal and take away what a guy has achieved throughout his career. It just doesn't make sense to me. So.
Exactly.
Johnny Cueto, man, going from the Cincinnati Reds, again, almost last place team to the Kansas City Royals, a team that made the World Series. And I think Cueto is now the Royals' best pitcher. I mean, if you look over the last 5 or 6 years, he's only behind like Clayton Kershaw or Justin Verlander in all the major categories, but he's been playing for the Reds, a very not very good organization, and this guy has been to All-Star games. He's been in the Cy Young voting a couple times, and I think so far to me that's the biggest move, that's the biggest trade so far, is Johnny Cueto going to the Kansas City Royals, and I think he'll fit in and help those guys tremendously.
Yeah, I also feel like Shane Victorino is going to help the Angels doing very well this season. Is going to be able to help them out with the shortstop position and effectively do well. We all know he's a veteran, and he's going to bring in that veteran leadership. I expect the Angels to be one of the top teams in the playoffs, and also for maybe potentially the series, World Series that are concerned. Also for the Yankees as well too. They're the top team, and I got to give big respects to Alex Rodriguez for the way he's been playing, especially sitting out a year, but to come back strong. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, it's still going to be some more moves made before Friday. We know that. Hopefully, my Dodgers will make a move and go get a pitcher. Okay, Cole Hamels or somebody, because with Kershaw and Greinke, you know, the Dodgers don't score enough runs. They're going to need 3 lights-out pitchers to make the World Series.
Yeah.
That's my team. I can criticize them, but you know, they're going to have to go get somebody else. And anybody who's out there listening, if you want to chime in, go to ThinkTech HI. You can talk baseball. We can talk Tom Brady. We can talk whatever you like. Tweet us at ThinkTech HI, and we're going to go to another commercial break. When we come back, we'll be talking about local signee Mike Baptiz heading to the University of Arizona, and some more sports subjects on the other side of Hawaii Sports Update.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Keith.
My name's Keith Bettinger.
I knew that.
And I'm the host of ThinkTech Asia.
I knew that too.
Here on ThinkTech.
Fabulous. You got a great show going, Keith.
Thank you very much. And for our viewers out there that are interested in ThinkTech Asia, it airs every Tuesday from 4 to 4:45, and it can be accessed online at thinktech.com.
Yeah, so what kind of guests you like?
Well, we have a number of guests from academia, from practitioners of international affairs. Sometimes we have military officials. Sometimes we have public officials on the show. And our goal, we try to talk about current issues in South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, and Central Asia, all throughout the Asian realm in more depth than you would find in traditional mainstream
That's the
media.
difference, isn't it?
Exactly.
That you're reaching out beyond what ordinary news media would do.
Right.
And that's why we like you so much.
We're trying to provide a thinking person's perspective, an intelligent perspective on what's going on, and we're both sides of the story, or even when there's more than 2 sides, we try to cover every angle. And I think that's one of the big benefits that we provide here at ThinkTech. Is it's a really innovative source of educational programming for the people of Hawaii.
You're great, Keith. You are a great host. You got a great show going on. I watch it every week.
Thanks very much.
Why don't
Jay.
you guys watch it every week too, okay?
4:45 to 4 to 4:45 every Tuesday.
Welcome back to Hawaii Sports Update. I am here, of course, with my right-hand man, Justin Baptiz, dropping all his knowledge about all these sports topics. And Justin, I appreciate you like always.
No problem. No problem.
Man, before we talk a little bit about the Summer League, like I said before we went on break, congratulations to Mike Baptiz from heading to the University of Arizona, the Kaiser offensive lineman. He's ranked #1 in his position in the whole West Coast. He's the 221st overall rated football player in the nation, and you know, he's going to the Pac-12, and they expect huge things out of him coming up this year. But you know, I mean, they just lost their quarterback, man, to Farrington High School, and you know, I don't really understand what's going on with the transfer rules. You know, the guy from the Big Island, I forget his name, but who transferred to St. Louis, you know, he transfers from the Big Island and comes to St. Louis, he's eligible, okay? And now Justin Uahainui, okay, he transfers from Kaiser to Farrington. And of course, you know, I get all my inside information from the Star Advertiser guys, and big mahalos to Billy Hall. You know, he's told me that today, you know, they're going to find out if this guy is eligible or not. But yet they just passed a bunch of rules last year saying that if you transfer from a private to a public school, that you have to sit out a year. And and now they're making exceptions, to the people who they want to make exceptions to, and I just don't. I don't think that's fair at all. If somebody transfer, let everybody transfer without penalty, or penalize everybody and don't let them transfer.
Exactly.
You can't say, oh, this guy can transfer and this guy can't. I don't understand that.
Me either.
That there go another double standard, and these kids are just children right now. They're still in high school, and if their family moves or something, and they want to transfer school, they shouldn't be penalized for it. And the thing that gets me is the private schools is the ones who do all the recruiting and take all the best kids from the I'm not going to say bad neighborhoods or anything like that, because we all live in Hawaii, but you talk about Punahou going out to Laie and getting all the kids are supposed to be going to Kahuku. Half the best kids at St. Louis are from the Aiea area, and so on and so forth. And it's like, so what? Only the private schools can pull these guys out, but nobody else can? It's just ridiculous. So
Right.
even though Kaiser and Farrington are public high schools, Farrington is a powerhouse. And so, of course, I'll bet you any amount of money this guy's going to be eligible to play for Farrington, even though he transferred, even though they made up all those rules last year about transfer requirements and eligibilities. It just seems to get thrown out the window when it comes to certain players, and I don't think that's right.
Right. I mean, and that's not right at all. But I mean, to say, transfer from Kaiser to Farrington. I mean, who wouldn't want to play with Farrington? I mean, you got to give big props to Randall Okimoto for his success with the Hokos and their success in playing football.
Absolutely.
But Farrington, they're continuing to still be a powerhouse in the division of the OIA Red Division, and they're still gonna be a good team. I know a lot of the players on the team, especially the running backs, and they're gonna have a great season.
Yeah, I mean, Farrington definitely is one of the, especially public school powerhouses without a doubt. But then you got to look at Kaiser, okay? Number one, Kaiser's on the east side, okay? All the population's coming west, man.
Exactly.
We know that.
Kahuku was one of them.
Yeah, the schools on the east side are losing kids, and the schools on the west side are gaining kids every single year. I mean, Kaiser, half of their starters are going to have to play both ways. So this is a big blow to Kaiser to lose their starting quarterback, and it's just and I believe if he wouldn't have been eligible to transfer to Farrington, then he wouldn't have went. That's how come I know he's going to be eligible, because somebody's doing something between the lines that we don't know about that's going to make this kid eligible. And, I guess all the rules and stuff that they made up last year are just thrown out the window, but
Exactly.
I don't know. So, before we go any further, if you want to tweet the show, ThinkTech HI, tweet in, chime in on the conversations. But I would like to give a personal big ups to my man Jeremy Robinson, Open Court Basketball League. The boys and girls varsity finished 4th place in the Vegas Summer League. That's a huge, huge summer league. So much talent from all across the nation, like Jeremy said. And, for the boys and girls both to come in from Hawaii and place 4th in that tournament is letting us know that the basketball tradition in Hawaii is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And Jeremy Robinson is a big reason for that. His open league basketball camps and all the work that he puts into the community to get these kids to play at a high level is really starting to pay off. And I'm very happy for him. And Jeremy, he's going to be playing tonight in the summer league, right?
Yeah.
What's the schedule look like, Justin?
I'm going to break it down for you
for the
right
UH
now.
Summer League basketball
I'll
league.
tell you what it looks like right now.
Okay.
Top teams, of course, is the Electricians Hawaii with Kona, Maka'ula, 14.8 points per game. Derby Enos from UH, 10.2 points per game.
That's your boy, huh?
That's my boy. I've known that guy since high school, man. We've been training together.
There
doing
you
the
go.
whole 9 yards. I gotta give him
Big ups,
much love and
Derby.
respect to Derby, yeah. And National Fire, Chris Summers, and DeAndre Hoskins, 26.8 per game for Hoskins, and Chris Summers, 25.4 points per game. Wealth Challenge, Julian Sensley,
Yeah,
as we
yeah,
all know.
ex-UH player.
Yeah, 24.8 points per game, and William Brodskus, 18 points per game. But as Jeremy Robinson, Gratcho Pacific, Jeremy Robinson has 20.3 points per game, and our Tricka Christmas, 16.8 points per game. So those are what the standings look like right now.
Okay, now who's on the agenda for tonight's game?
Well, tonight we have National Fire and Wealth Challenge at 6 o'clock, and we have Electricians and Gratcho Pacific.
Okay, now who are some of the stars from the first two teams?
For tonight's game, National Fire, Chris Summers, leading the way with 25.4 points per game. Dynamic player, he can do it all. And if you look at World Challenge, you know, Julian Sensley.
Okay, yeah, Jeremy. Okay, now Jeremy, man, he's still doing it, and you know, I've seen some film on him, and the brother can shoot, man. I mean, you know, he don't go to the hole as strong as he used to, but you know that comes along with age. But he could definitely still put the ball in the hole, that's for sure. Now, has anybody heard from Justice Suing or Llewellyn Smalley? Any of those guys?
No, I've recently seen Justin Suing play. Looking pretty good. Got to play better defense. But
well,
he's
always been
he's
the
staying
case.
in there though. He's still learning and adapting, but he's doing pretty good. I gotta give him much respect for how he's been able to continue to play and do the best that he can. But he's staying right up there with the way that he's been able to play. But as you said before, as we interviewed him a while back, he is one of the top prospects in basketball in the next few years. So
oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, going into his junior year at Marinol, yeah, he from the Earl Watson Elite Nike basketball camp, he was the top-rated player out of Hawaii, and you know, I got a chance to watch him. You know, the kid has handles, he has skills, but the thing about him, you know, and it's like all young kids, that they tend to play down to their level. But in a way, that's a good thing, because when the competition gets better, his game gets better, and that just lets me know that his upside is, you know, can be off the charts. You know, it all depends on how hard he wants to work and put in the effort to do it. I know his dad was a beast. I used to play against him in the 3-on-3 Hoop It Up tournaments back in my earlier days. But yeah, his dad was definitely a beast, and we're looking for big things out of Justice Suing and Marinol next year coming up.
But as far as the summer leagues, man, you know, it's always great to see the old guys and the new guys and the UH players playing in the summer leagues. It gives them great competition, and also fans can also see these players play before the season starts. But Julian Sensley's always a great player to watch, tough to play against and to compete against, and also big props to all the UH guys and the OG Jeremy Robinson for always doing work on the basketball court.
All right. Now, before we get out of here, Justin, I just want to say big ups to Max Whittick and Ben Clark. They are representing Hawaii and Las Vegas, along with Coach Norman Chow, of course, for all the media events going on, and they were both projected to be first team all Mountain West Conference, and it's getting so close to football season now. You know, I could smell the sweat coming down of Manoa, man, and they're about to start getting into some serious business coming up pretty soon. And of course, on a lighter note, I just want to give big props to the Jacksonville Sharks of the Arena Football League for celebrating the people's elbow, you know, because The Rock, you know, he's one of the hometown boys, and that was the best touchdown celebration that I have ever seen, I'll tell you that. And, you know, everybody knows that they could smell what The Rock is cooking. Unbelievable. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. But Justin, once again, big mahalos for being here.
Appreciate it.
My right-hand man as always, and he's also with me on my radio shows on Saturday, KWAI 1080 AM. And You know how we do it on Hawaii Sports Update. Ahui ho. See you next week.